Hey everyone, it's Sarah, and today I am back to talk about all of the mint perfumes that I've got in my collection. So saying they're mint perfumes is a little bit misleading. They've all got a very prominent mint note in them. I wouldn't, there's only one of these. Yeah, there's only one of these that I would consider like an actual kind of mint perfume. The mint is quite dominant in it. All of the other ones, they just have this really beautiful like supporting mint note in it. Mint is one of my favorite herb notes in fragrance. I think it is so beautiful. It's not super common, but when I do come across a fragrance that's got a beautiful mint note in it, I usually love it. One of these fragrances is also a men's fragrance that I don't wear, but I love the mint in it. But anyways, let me just jump right in. The first one we're going to talk about this is a discontinued fragrance, unfortunately, but it is such a good one. This is Giorgio Armani Acqua di Gioia Essenza. This was a Mercari blind buy. I was just browsing Mercari one day. I saw this. It's been years ago. It's been like maybe 3 or 4 years ago at this point, but I remember thinking like that I had never seen this version of Acqua di Gioia before, so I looked up the notes and they looked amazing. It's got mint and sugar and lemon. It's really, oh my gosh. It's really, really citrusy, sweet, and it has a gorgeous fresh mint note in it. And I remember thinking, because this has got a sugar note in it as well as the mint, I just remember like immediately knowing that I was gonna love this from the notes. So yeah, I did blind buy it. It was a complete success. I don't ration it, but I do only wear this a couple times a year because it has been discontinued. It is difficult to find. This is a big 3.4 ounce bottle though, so this will probably, if I only wear it a few times a year, it'll last me for the rest of my life. But yeah, really, really beautiful version of Acqua di Gioia. I feel like all of the Acqua di Gioias kind of resemble each other. They definitely have a similar DNA, and this one is no different. It definitely still smells a little bit like Acqua di Gioia. I had a guy that I worked with right before I quit my last job. He asked me, I wore this to work one day, and he was like, "What is that perfume you're wearing? I want to buy it for my wife. It smells so good." And I was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. It's been discontinued." But I just told him to get the original Acqua di Gioia because it is very similar. But anyways, yeah, beautiful sugary lemon and fresh mint fragrance. I adore it. So, and this one, for me, this one lasts a really, really long time. I can easily, I used to wear it to work, and I used to work 10-hour days, and I would still be able to smell it on me, mostly on my clothing, but I could still smell it even after 10 hours. So yeah, it's a good one. So anyways, that is Acqua di Gioia Essenza from Giorgio Armani. This next one, this is a mini. This is one that I have been meaning to pick up a full bottle of this forever. It's getting much more difficult to find. It's always been kind of pricey though, and I've got so many rose fragrances in my collection that I don't feel like I need a bottle of it, but I need a bottle of it. But anyways, this is Florabotanica from Balenciaga. And I love this fragrance. This is such a, it's such a beautiful, it's actually a really unique rose too. It's got a cannabis note in it. It's like a watery green rose with cannabis and mint. The mint note is very noticeable too. I'm gonna try to put just a touch of this on my hand. Yeah. Oh, yes, the mint note is very noticeable. It really brings a brightness to that cannabis note. It's so beautiful. This is such a stunning fragrance. It's fresh and green and bright. It's rose, it's that cannabis, it's got the fresh mint note in it. It's got a bunch of other things too, but those are the notes that are most prominent to my nose. And I love this. This is not sweet at all. It's very light and fresh and crisp. Very crisp smelling. And a lot of times I don't like a cannabis note in fragrance. A lot of times for me, I feel like it ends up overpowering the fragrance, or for me, it will make the fragrance lean a little bit too masculine. But it really doesn't in this fragrance. But the mint in this one is really, really prominent. You can smell it, like right behind the cannabis is this beautiful, fresh mint note. The mint note really is the note that lifts this whole fragrance up and keeps it light and airy. It's beautiful. Yeah, I need to get a full bottle of this one day. One day I will, but by the time I get around to it, it'll be like way too expensive or something. Anyways, that is Florabotanica from Balenciaga. I love it. Okay, yeah, this next fragrance is so amazing. This is a 4160 Tuesdays fragrance. This is called What I Did on My Holidays. This has so many notes in it, but for me, this fragrance is all about the mint. It smells like a fresh, like mint ice cream fragrance. It's got like I think it's got kind of like salty sea air, like a salty sea air kind of note, or yeah, like a salty sea air note, which keeps it really light and fresh smelling. Again, the mint is very light and fresh, but there's a lot of vanilla in this, which really, I think there might be like a candy, I think there might be like a cotton candy note in this as well. So it's like sweet and creamy. So you really kind of get this mint chocolate chip ice cream vibe from this. But this is way complex. There are a lot of notes in this. It's got a seaweed note in it too. And it actually has like an ice cream note in it. This one's really hard to explain because it does smell like mint ice cream, but there are a lot of other things going on. So it ends up being quite complex, but for me, this fragrance is all about that beautiful mint. Yeah, I would say I actually have two in this bundle that I would consider mint fragrances, and this is one. I would consider this a mint fragrance. It really is. This is one of those fragrances that like you would have to pry it out of my cold dead hands. I will never part with this. It's definitely one of my prized possessions in my perfume collection. It's one that I don't talk about a ton, but I've had this for years at this point. I saw, a long time ago, I saw Amy Loves Perfume. She did like a summer scent list, and she talked about this fragrance. It's been, I mean, it has to be like 5 or 6 years ago at this point, maybe 5 years ago. And that was the first time I had ever heard of it. And it sounded amazing. So I immediately ran and bought it. And I've never looked back. Yeah, it's one, I don't wear this one as much as I should either, but it's one of those that it's like, I don't ration it, but I keep myself from wearing it too much. I don't know. This one's going to get way more love this summer though, because this is amazing fragrance. So anyways, that one is 4160 Tuesdays. What I Did on My Holidays. That's definitely a mint fragrance. Okay, next we have another mini. This is the men's fragrance that I think is so good. This is Versace Eros. And I usually don't keep men's fragrances, even minis, in my collection. I'll pass them on to my husband. But this one I really like. I ended up getting this in like one of those free gift bag things from Ulta from ordering. And I love this because to me, I immediately just smelled mint. I immediately smelled a really prominent, yes, I get the mint in this to my nose is very, very prominent. Like that's what I smelled immediately. The first thing I smelled when I smelled this fragrance was mint. And because of that, I love it. This is actually, I think this is a men's fragrance that I would actually even wear. It smells really good on my skin, and my skin really pulls the mint out. It's really, it's a really cozy scent. It's kind of fresh, but I don't know, it's got this fuzzy coziness about it too. Yeah, so this one it's got a lot of citrus in the top. I think it's got some apple in it. I know it's got ambroxan. I love ambroxan. It gives it kind of a fresh, salty kind of feel to it. Got a lot of vanilla in it, like Madagascar vanilla, I believe. And I think it's got tonka in it as well. I don't know, I really, really enjoy this fragrance though. The only problem with this one is it does not last long at all. Like, oh, let me tell you, 4160 Tuesdays, what I did on my holiday, this is a one and done. Like, you apply it once in the morning and you're good for the rest of the day. It will project for hours too. Like, it'll project for at least 3 hours before it starts wearing a little bit closer to the skin. But even then, you're still in this cloud, and it's very, very strong. Like, it's a really good performing fragrance. Eros is not. This one starts to wear away like immediately as soon as you put it on your skin. Now, I only have this dabber bottle. Sometimes I come across this fragrance in TJ Maxx. If I do, again, I'm gonna pick up a bottle because I really, really like it. I think it would be a great summertime fragrance for me because it's super cozy but super fresh at the same time. But yes, it does really have the most beautiful, fresh, prominent mint note in it. And I love it. So anyways, that is Versace Eros. Okay, next we have a Zara fragrance. This is Waterlily Tea Dress from the Zara Emotions line. And this is one of my 2 absolute favorite perfumes in this line. This is a watery green floral with a really beautiful mint note in it. It's a very fresh smelling fragrance anyways, but the mint just elevates it. This isn't a sweet perfume at all. It doesn't have any sweetness to it. It really is just a very bright, crisp, watery, minty floral. Oh, it is so beautiful. It reminds me of like dry, astringent purple florals like hyacinth or, well, hyacinth aren't necessarily purple. They can be pink or white or whatever color, but it reminds me of like a hyacinth, that kind of a crisp, astringent floral. And then with the mint, it is just beautiful. According to the notes, this one doesn't even have any flowers in it. It's just bergamot, musk, and mint. But I swear I smell like astringent florals in it. Yeah, I wouldn't even say I can even really smell bergamot. Maybe it's like a little bit citrusy, but this to me is straight up flowers. Flowers and mint. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. This is one of my most complimented fragrances too. Seriously, every time I wear this, I get compliments from somebody, whether I'm out in public, at home. People really, really like this fragrance. And I picked up the body lotion to layer this over. And the combination, I can easily get a good 6 hours out of that combination. The body lotion really, really helps the performance of this one. But yeah, that one is Waterlily Tea Dress. Beautiful, very mint forward fragrance. It's not like a sweet mint though. It's more of a fresh mint with that one. So it's not like as detectable as I would say the 4160 Tuesdays or even Versace Eros. The mint is much more prominent in those, but because there's sweetness in those ones. But in the Waterlily Tea Dress, it's more of like a very fresh, crisp mint. Ah, just beautiful. Okay, this next one we're going to talk about, the mint is the same as in the Waterlily Tea Dress. It's just a very fresh, crisp mint without any sweetness. So the next one we're going to talk about is Guerlain Aqua, Allegoria, Herba, Fresca. This is the other one that I would say in this bundle is through and through a mint fragrance. Oh my goodness. I definitely get these really beautiful fresh green herbs, but for me, the star of the show in this fragrance is mint. The mint is so, so prominent, and it's fresh and it's a little bit soft. Yeah, it's much more prominent than in Waterlily Tea Dress. And it's softened by something. This one has a lot of citrus in the top, and this also has a clover note in it, which gives it a really beautiful green greenness, if that's how you say that, greenness, yeah, or green quality. It's got Cyclamen in the base, which is, Cyclamen again is one of those more kind of astringent, dry smelling, fresh smelling florals. So this one is not sweet at all. It's also got tea in it, I believe, or maybe like a green tea note. But yeah, this one is just very, very crisp and fresh smelling. And for me, it is all about the mint. The mint in this one is a little bit softer, but super, super prominent. I think it softened. It's gonna sound strange, but I feel like the mint in this one is softened by that green clover note. It's so good. This is like, these are the perfumes that I reach for like in the dead of the summer when it is so hot outside and I almost can't spray perfume on because it's so darn hot out. These, I will start reaching for my Aqua Allegorias, and a lot of time I will layer this Herba Fresca with my Limon Verde one, and then I just smell like this amazing like mojito. It's so good. So anyways, that is a Guerlain Herba Fresca, a really beautiful mint, like green mint fragrance. Okay, I've got a couple new ones to my collection. These both came in my most recent Cocoapink order, and both of these have such a beautiful mint note in them. I had to include them. So the first one is called A Walk in the Garden, and I haven't actually tested this one on my skin yet. So this one is sweet. It's really sweet, but I do remember really sweet, really citrusy. And this one, you have to wait for it to warm on your skin before you start smelling the mint. And there it is. You have to wait maybe 45 seconds or so. And as soon as it starts warming on your skin, you get the most beautiful, like green, sweet green mint note. So this one is ginger and pear. So you get this beautiful spicy ginger note. I just talked about this one, so it is fresh in my mind. And then you get this fresh, not overly sweet pear. It's not like a stewed pear. It's not an overly sweet pear. But it is what gives the fragrance its sweetness. So it is this beautiful spicy ginger and pear scent, but then there's a green ivy note, which is where the greenness comes, which is where it gets its greenness from. So this green ivy note and then mint in the base. And the mint, oh my gosh, it's like this fresh, crisp, sweet mint. And it is so prominent once this starts drying down. I mean, it's so prominent that when you smell it on your skin, you almost get that coolness in the back of your throat from the mint. Oh, it is so good. It's really, really like fresh smelling, and just with the spiciness from the ginger and the sweetness from the pear. And then the green ivy and the mint. It's amazing. This is such an incredible, really, really unique fragrance. So anyways, that one is called A Walk in the Garden from Cocoapink. And it's funny, these are the fragrances that inspired this video, because I was so in love with the mint notes in these fragrances that I was like, I need to do a whole mint video. I've never done a mint perfume video, and I don't have many of them in my collection because, again, it's not a widely used note, but boy, do I love it when I can detect it in a fragrance. Okay, and then the next one from Cocoapink is called Selkie, and this one, oh my gosh, this one is so good. This one is pretty sweet, and again, with this one, you have to wait a minute for it to dry down so you can even smell the mint. Now this one, the mint isn't as prominent as it is in A Walk in the Garden. Like, it's very, very prominent in Walk in the Garden. This one has a lot more notes in it. This one is like, it reminds me a lot of So it does remind me of what I did on my holidays, but the like sea breeze note in this one is much more prominent. And this one isn't quite as minty as what I did on my holidays, but when this one dries down, it really does smell a lot like what I did on my holidays. But yeah, this one has like the sea breeze note. It's got some coconut in it. It's got sugar and lavender and vanilla and mint. It's really, really nice. This is the closest thing I've ever smelled to anything that smells like what I did on my holiday, or on my holidays, I should say. And it's really beautiful. Once it dries down and the sea breeze notes kind of dissipate and it dries down to that kind of sweet minty vanilla. The only difference with this one is it does have the coconut in it, so you do get like a coconut note, but it's not like overpowering. But that's the biggest difference between this and what I did on my holidays. Is this does have a coconut note in it, and what I did on my holidays is just pretty much like a sweet mint ice cream fragrance. But this one is beautiful. This one, if I didn't have a bottle of what I did on my holidays, I would absolutely be picking up a full bottle of this because, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. I might end up anyways. We'll just have to see. These perfumes are so affordable too. A full bottle is only like $28. I think if you get the Smell Me Across Town concentration, I think they might be $32 for a 1 ounce bottle. So I feel like that's super affordable. And this would be a really good alternative to what I did on my holidays, if you don't mind coconut. So anyways, yeah, that one is called Selkie, and it is so beautiful. Okay, and then last but not least is this beauty right here. This is Le Jardin de Monsieur Lee. I'm the worst. You would never know I took 2 years of French and I can't pronounce, I was never able to make my mouth move in the way that you have to make it move to be able to pronounce French words, which is so sad. So this one, oh my gosh, is so beautiful. And I don't actually know exactly what the notes are in this. They don't have, I could probably look it up on the Hermes website or somewhere, but they don't have them listed on Fragrantica. They just have the notes that like people vote for. It's got some beautiful citruses in the top. Yeah, definitely. And it's also got like a dry, kind of astringent quality to it as well. But I definitely get a very prominent mint note in this. And this is one that when I wear it on my skin, in the dry down, I get a prominent mint. This one is really citrusy and fresh and crisp. There's some kind of a flower in the middle, but again, it's kind of, it's like more of an astringent flower, but it does add just a touch of sweetness. It's really, really gorgeous. And then that beautiful prominent mint note in the base. This one's really, really like would be a great unisex scent too. This is definitely like, it doesn't lean too feminine or too masculine. But yeah, I get this beautiful, fresh, crisp mint note in the base. It is so good. This one actually performs really, really well. This and the Sur Le Toit, those fragrances, I'm telling you, they are such good performing fragrances for being light, like spring, summer fragrances. I can easily I used to wear this to work when I worked 10-hour days, and I would be able to smell it all day, especially on clothing. It's so good. Beautiful, fresh, crisp, like unsweet fragrance with a really beautiful mint in it. So anyways, that is Le Jardin de Monsieur Lee, and it is such a beautiful one. But yeah, guys, I wish I had more mint fragrances than this. I'm gonna check. I have, there is one that I had a sample of. The only other mint fragrance that I have that is I just have a sample of it, is Imaginary Authors Mint Julep. And it is also a really, really pretty mint fragrance, but I want to say that I feel like that one leaned a little bit masculine for me. I'll have to revisit that. But yeah, let me know if you guys have any fragrances in your collection that has a prominent mint note in it. I would love to hear about them so that I can go on the hunt. I feel like I want more in my collection after doing this video. But yeah, I do hope that you all enjoyed this. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.